This? I'm Kathy Deach.
And I am Eva Tingley, and we have a really, really good show planned for you guys.
I mean, our guest is so over.
Oh my God. You guys, first of all, she came in and I cannot stop staring at her. I just can't. I'm just letting you know.
She's going to a very fancy event afterwards.
This. But I was thinking she came here dressed like that for us.
I totally did too. So
I was like, she really wanted me to crush hard on her. She really wanted me to crush hard on her, and I did.
For sure.
You just wait till you see her. She's looking gorgeous.
Danielle Pinnock, guys. She is everywhere right now. Great Chicago actress. Can't wait to hear all about the work she's done. She trained in England.
Oh, did she know?
Yeah.
She's a little fancy.
She's a little fancy. She's fancy. So let's keep going so we can get her on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we
get
have,
to talking,
we have
Kathy
a couple
Deach.
Of hot topics. We have a couple hot topics. First of all, Eva went international.
Oh, yes, I went so international. I'm so fancy, guys. Kathy tried to play it off like I was so fancy. No, I went on a mission trip to Mexico, and with my church, we drove down to Ensenada and helped build some houses and paint some houses, and I got to play with some kids that were super cute.
Really cute kids.
I got to meet my little niece, Amelia, was just the shyest little girl. So I met my little Mexican Amelia. She was so cute, and she would talk to me like that. I mean, she would speak to me in Spanish, but she would talk like this. She would be like, "Can we go play?" And I'd be like, "Yes, let's go play. I want to play with you." Oh my gosh, it was the best. It was such a heartwarming and heartbreaking experience, but I am definitely going back and bringing lots of things with me.
That's so great. Yeah, because they do need things. And is there... I mean, we should even maybe talk about that before you go next time to maybe people, we can have a drop off for them, and maybe people.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. If people have kids, like the kids need shoes. A lot of the kids did not have shoes, and they need lotion. They need clothes. They need bedding stuff. They don't have bedding stuff too. So
maybe we can work that out.
That would be amazing.
We'll try to figure that out for one of our next episodes.
Do it. Donate it. Contact
maybe
us.
We can get. My sister used to send stuff to the islands in big, huge tanker things. I forget what she used to call them. Anne, are you on? Can you tell me? She is, of course.
Of course, she is on.
Tell me what's the name of the big things that you put all this.
Well, we would have to literally bring it down ourselves in a car, so it would have to fit in a car. So we don't need tons of crazy stuff because we'd have to fit in the car.
But she would ship these things, and it would be forever.
Oh, okay.
But it would eventually get there.
Okay.
Because it was the islands. She didn't just go to the islands with a big tanker of things.
A big tanker of things. Okay.
She's here. Yes, she's here. Tell me, Anne, what is those things?
Anne, hurry up. Tell us. Gosh, we're laying in wait.
So while Eva was in Mexico, I was at Fatchella.
She was at Fatchella, and I was slightly jealous.
Because you live your best fat life at Fatchella. And I had the best time. I went with a friend of ours, Heidi Powers, who actually is directing a show that I'm in that you might want to come see. I have not talked about it. You have not talked about it.
That's right.
It is, and it's sort of relevant to what we're talking about later. It's a Macbeth that is seen from the eyes of the Me Too movement. So Lady Macbeth was violated by the king, and that's kind of why everything got started. And it's a very interesting take. And Heidi Powers is the director, and she totally came with me. And we talked and then ran and separated, and talked and ran and separated. And I ran into Brittany Young there.
I know.
From Glow, which is already has its promotional stuff starting, and
I'm it's so exciting. I can't wait.
That if you don't
stop singing, we can't get kicked off of YouTube.
I was short enough. That was so short. It was
stressing me out. This one.
I'll try it a different key. He's a maniac. I try to change the key. You know how they do that? They tune things down for karaoke. I'll tune myself down. But
your face was amazing.
But the Glow is starting, and they have these promos out. If you don't follow Brittany Young, follow her. Did
they have karaoke there or dancing? Because there was a couple of DJs.
There was a bunch of DJs. There was a dance group that is starting in LA, and I'm embarrassed I don't remember. Guys, there were so many things happening at once that I can't even remember all the people that I met. I did meet Fat Kid Dance Party, Bevan. who is amazing, and we've totally talked about her coming on here.
Amazing.
If you don't know Fat Kids Dance Party, she travels like across the country, just like making you dance, whether you're big or not. Like,
and I'm sure a bear named Troy was there. Troy Solomon, was he there?
I think he was at Coachella.
Oh, he was like actually at Coachella.
Yeah, him and his friend who we love,
yes,
Alex.
Alex,
They were actually there. So no, but there were other very, very cute Femi bears there. Trust me. There's like all the people, anybody you like, any type of person you like, they were there. It was amazing.
Except Eva.
Except for Eva. And you know what? You would have felt right at home because I was the shortest person on earth at this place. People were heads taller than me, and then in heels. Like, there were so many glamazons, guys. Like, I love
that you like associate me with being a glamazon. I'm
you
totally
are.
not.
You wear those platform heels. You are.
Yeah, but I'm not. I am because I wear platform
No,
heels.
but that makes you 5'10", so that's glamazon-y.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll take
Whatever.
it. I'm
She's
a glamazon, guys.
My sister said they're barrels.
Barrels.
like a normal thing.
I couldn't think of the words. It's a special term that she stuffs in and she ships them over. Barrels.
Shing, show me munchies. Oh my god, I actually got one. Another thing that happened. So another thing that happened was actual Coachella, except for it really should be called Baychella.
It should be called 100% Baychella because that's what everybody is talking about. That's the only thing that matters at this moment.
I literally was just looking at hashtag Baychella, crying my eyeballs out.
I know.
The entire time. I don't know
and
why.
like, you are not like super Beyonce crazy.
No, I'm not. I'm actually new. I'm a newbie.
You're a new Bay worshiper.
I mean, I've always thought she was an incredible hard worker. I just felt like it was all very safe, what she talked about. And then all of a sudden, Lemonade came out, and I was like, okay. Yes, I'm on board. So, listen, better late than never. I've always admired what she does. Her production value is always ridiculous. But this is like,
oh my gosh,
thought upon thought upon thought. Somebody said, like this would have been a big deal if it was for the Super Bowl and only 10 minutes. But this was like a full show, full camera angles. I mean, it was so good. But girl, the thick girls came out.
The thick girls
front
dancing.
And center. Wait, I'm going to cry. Front and center. Dancing like no one ever sees us dance.
I know.
I'm literally crying right now.
Just like
it's
killing
amazing.
it.
You have to look it
If
up.
you haven't seen it, you need to go look it up because we are not playing it because we're not allowed to play stuff. But you guys need to go look it up.
Just hashtag
Baychella.
And they will show up. And we've definitely on our Twitter account and on our Instagram have been like spreading the good word.
Yes, because it's amazing.
Just two girls by themselves and her. Unbelievable. And then a couple of her other dancers we also like in the yellow.
And they are like, not, it's not like you see like a fat girl dancing and you're like, okay, she's good. No. No. They are like Beyonce good.
Yeah, they're Beyonce good.
I mean,
and she's letting them in black unitards. It was unbelievable. And
so sexy. I loved it. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much.
So amazing. And then this hilarious story got picked up because Adele has sort of been on the DL. Like, where'd she go?
She like had a kid and
she peaced
went
out.
into
She's like, I
hiding.
end my tour, I'm done. And she comes out to show her dancing to Baychella.
I know.
And it is amazing. And you should also look that up.
You should. What do we have we have a picture of Adele and Beyonce together, but we didn't post, and we didn't have any of the Instagram posts because we're scared to post anything.
I mean,
we're scared to share anything live, but go look at it
on Facebook. YouTube makes us scared, but on Facebook, I share everything.
Right.
So go to if you're on our Facebook Live, you can totally scroll down and find it.
And if you're not, go find us on Facebook at Plus the Show.
Yeah, please do. There's so many amazing events that happened this weekend.
I know.
Another one was Women in the World, an amazing summit. Has all kinds of incredible speakers.
And was it in San Diego? Where was it?
Oh, that's a great question. That's like the one thing I don't know.
I don't know either. I was kind of like, But anyway, they had an amazing panel with...
Look at me. I'm devastated if it was. That means we could have went. And I literally...
No, I was in Mexico. I couldn't have gone.
I know, but...
But we could have possibly...
Next time.
If we could, like, clone ourselves, we could have both been
and
there.
Then go.
Yeah.
But they did a Dietland panel with our good friend Joy Nash.
Yes, Joy Nash.
and Juliana Margulies.
And the showrunner Marty Noxon.
Yes. And it was really beautiful. And Marty Noxon was really vulnerable and
yeah, because they were talking
sweet.
about how do you see yourself, and both Juliana Margulies and Joy are kind of like, I love myself, I'm good, and then Marty's like, yeah, I'm still a work in progress, and it's like, oh
yeah.
And she's like, I'm 50 years old, or 53, I think she said.
Which is crazy.
Totally. She doesn't
because she literally looks like she's in her 30s.
I know. You're just like, whatever.
Blood. Thanks.
And she talks about how she used to be anorexic and how she thought that she had to be, she really thought that her worth was in being viewed as being precious, right?
Yeah. And then Juliana Margulies picked up on it and was like, yeah, but that it kind of insinuates that means small, and that women have to make themselves small in order to be
precious,
taken care of. But more importantly,
right.
She said we have to be precious in order to be safe.
Right.
That was the full thing she said. And she's like, so then that kind of means that we've had to make ourselves small in order to feel like no one's going to mess with us. And
right.
we would even say on the other end of the spectrum that women make themselves bigger,
Right.
Obviously, Roxane Gay has written a whole book about it.
Right.
About that need, something terrible happens to you, you're trying to make sense of why, and you go, oh, if I'm bigger, no one will bother me.
Right.
So there is a lot of that with eating disorders, and we're going to talk more about that and the Me Too movement later on in the show.
Right.
Shall we get to our guest? Should we take a break?
I think we should.
Get to our guest?
I think we need some extra time with her.
Yeah.
Also, you guys need to check out her fierce makeup.
So we'll be right back with Pluses. Stay tuned. Danielle Pinnock.
Do you know that 67% of American women are size 14 and above?
You mean they look like this?
Yeah, girl.
So then where are we in television and film?
And where are we in fashion magazines and clothing stores?
Yeah.
So we want to help out entertainment and fashion and media. Catch the F up.
Topics get hot. We want to hear what y'all have to say.
And they will get hot.
Absolutely.
I have a question for you. It's kind of like a dirty little one. So if you had to do a love scene with somebody else famous, who would it be?
Oscar Isaac.
Love how I asked you that and you had an answer right away.
We sang, we laughed, we cried. We
gotta go back. No, we didn't cry.
We didn't cry.
Everybody should be able to be seen in, maybe not every single campaign, but let's try to include it in as many campaigns as we can.
Witchy poo, we told you.
We're just putting it in the cauldron for you.
We're gonna get those candles. Yeah. People are having sex with us. We need to show that we're part of this society, and being sexual is part of that.
Absolutely.
So tough titty, you're fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah. Watch a fat girl love herself.
Applause,
But just us.
Applauding.
So good.
Plus this. We're back.
Guys, we're back, and we have our guest with us.
She's on Young Sheldon.
Young
Sheldon.
Frankenstein. You were going to say Frankenstein,
no,
were you?
I didn't. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say Shankin, maybe. Young Shankin.
She's very tired, guys. No, she's on
tired.
Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon. She's on Get Shorty, the series.
She's on everything, guys.
She was just on the crossover episode
of Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder.
And did a scene with both Kerry Washington and Viola Davis.
Jinx, Yomi Menchie's.
I don't even like that place.
Whatever.
I'm not buying it.
It's still a game. It's a game. We're going to keep tally.
So, but Danielle Pinnock is
Danielle's here.
Yes.
And zoom in Jarvis on her beautiful makeup. No, just kidding. I can't stand it. It's gorgeous.
We have been trying to plan this because we thought that we were going to have you at the end of last season.
Yes.
And then our stuff got crazy, so we decided to wait till this season. But thank God, because you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm happy to be here. Thank y'all for having me. This is so fun.
I know.
Excellent. So you are a Chicago actor, and if anybody is in the business, Chicago actors have a thing around them. It's Like, I know so many. Rodney Toe, our very good dear friend who's been on the show, is
My
in Chicago.
husband
Yes.
is from
He's
Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, we
I
have a
love
lot.
people from Chicago. I feel like once I know someone's from Chicago, I'm like, oh, you're good people. You're good people.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. So do you feel like, well, let's, first of all, the Chicago Tribune picked up your show, Body Courage.
Yes.
And how amazing is that? So can you walk us through what that was about? It was one woman, just you.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, we have some amazing pictures of you that you sent us.
Yes.
That while you're talking, hopefully Jarvis will put up.
Absolutely. The show started off when I was in grad school in the UK at the Royal Birmingham Conservatory. They changed the name on me. It used to be called Birmingham School of Acting. So
Royal.
they're
No,
Now they had to
Royal.
fancy
They're
it up.
brand
They're
new now.
royal. Royal.
brand new now.
Queen got involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Got knighted.
But yeah, so we had to do our master's project. It was a solo show and something that we felt very passionate about. And I always wanted to talk about body image on stage because I never really saw plus size bodies being represented correctly or
Right.
you know, positively in the theater specifically. So
Or if there is, it's like one person and then that's it.
and we're just laughing. Like, we're just laughing at that person because they're just making jokes. And I
Right.
was like, cool. Yeah, let me try to do something a little different. But I also focused on body image because it's something that has kind of been a recurring theme generationally in my family. So I interviewed 5 women. And they ranged from a burn survivor, a young woman who had her freckles removed with plastic surgery.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they
That's
were
a thing?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and those are the kinds of stories that I wanted, like
Yeah.
things that you don't really hear.
Like,
on
you don't know that that's
stage
a thing.
as well. Yeah, and she was Muslim, and she was talking about kind of the religious aspect of plastic surgery. It's an incredible interview. So there was all kinds of women that I was able to get in contact with, and the show turned into this phenomenon in the UK. And then people were like, you know, you should bring it to New York, which I'm actually originally, I have to just say, from Jersey.
That's okay.
Jersey,
That's okay.
but I was in Chicago for a while. But yeah, I was like, I want to claim Chicago so bad, but I know I can't claim it.
Well, if you're from Jersey, then you're not a good person. I take it back. I take it back.
Hey.
I'm kidding. I'm
have some
kidding. I kid. Of course. Of course.
But yeah, no, I did in New York, and then once I moved to Chicago, was workshopping it everywhere, and had this big showcase where a lot of theaters in town came to see it. And at that point, I'd interviewed like 300 people worldwide.
Wow.
And it was a really, really intense process of trying to get everyone's dialect and physicality.
And did you put them on camera so that you could kind of go back? And
In the beginning, I did not, because at that time it was 2011, so I didn't have an iPhone. I still had my like Sex in the City Nokia.
yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah.
I was sidekicking it.
I
Yes.
really did. I had my
Yes.
flip phone at that point, and so I had this little busted recorder I got from a TK Maxx in the UK, and that was my thing that I was using the
So
entire
you had something
time.
that you could hear.
I could just
Okay.
listen to it. It wasn't until like 2013, 14 that I actually started bringing video into it if they wanted to be interviewed that way. Because some of the stories are very personal, and some people are like, I don't even want, I want to just be
Sure.
anonymous and
course.
things like that. But it's been the show that has changed my life.
But then you interviewed 300 people. How do you like narrow down, like, oh, I'm going to tell this person's story and not this person's story?
It's really hard, and I had to say I'm really grateful for the team that I had. I mean, Jack Wallace, who is my husband as well, he's been my voice and dialect coach from the beginning.
get-go.
From the
That's
beginning.
sweet.
So I mean, he had me on point. I mean, we were doing I did a Northern Irish priest with Parkinson's, and an Olympian from Mumbai. So like the range
Wow.
it was legit range. So he's been helping me, and then I had a director, Megan Carney, who I love to death, at the Rivendell Theater in Chicago, and waltzing mechanic Thomas Murray. They all really were hands-on in making sure that process was seamless.
That's so great. And Anna DeVere Smith, you worked
Yes,
with.
I surely did. We did a workshop with her in San Francisco, which was one of the most remarkable experiences of my entire life, because I've been looking up to Anna DeVere Smith since I was 18 years old. I mean, Letters to a Young Artist is a book that I frequently go back to, and she's a genius.
Yeah.
Crazy genius. She's incredible, and working with her just helped me get even more specific, and it was it was unbelievable. She's amazing.
That's so great. So you do that, and then you make the leap to here.
Yeah, it was a faith move.
Was it culture shock for you?
No, it was, because the thing is, I wasn't even supposed to be here, y'all. Like, I literally did Body Courage, and I was like, all right, let's see what happens in Chicago. And then that was the first year audition for TV, and my agents, they were like, you've done this one-woman show, we think it's time. And I was so afraid of, like, what would I look like, and would people accept me? I don't know. And the third audition that I had, I ended up screen testing. It was for HBO, and they flew me out to Los Angeles, and I said, well, there's a lot of money in TV and film.
Because you get that deal when you test, and you like work that contract out, and you gag, and you're like, wait, I'm doing this before I get the job. You're gonna give me a contract, and you see what your thing is, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I was like, I might need to make the switch, because I was doing a lot. I did a lot of theater at the Goodman, but then when you're not at those great houses, you're doing storefront theater, and you're making $300 for 4 months of work total.
Yep.
And you're doing it for the love.
Right.
Yep.
But I was like,
for the real love, guys, for the real love.
That is like your relationship.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me see what TV's about, and I've been doing theater for 10 years, so it wasn't that hard to transition into it. But it's changed. TV has changed my life.
I love it. Well, I know that Shonda Rhimes looks for theater people. In her, at least her casting people do specifically, and because they want them to be able to handle the monologue, and there's like, and I love
because there's so much dialogue. She writes such great dialogue,
and they want it word perfect. They don't want like people like paraphrasing. Like sometimes we get that audition at 10 for like 12:35.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I gotta memorize that sort of. So I love that you are in Shondaland now. Like,
I know.
Tell us about that.
How did that happen?
Okay, so listen, y'all, I had went in for this my manager is notorious for same day auditions. Young Sheldon was a same day audition, and I had a same day audition for Grey's Anatomy. So I was freaking out because this was the first Shondaland. I'm just fangirling over Shonda Rhimes forever. So I said, oh my God, Linda Lowe, you have to like have my stuff together. So I went in, and it was actually the scene was about a young woman. I think her mother was sick or something. Her parents were sick, and she was trying to help them out and all kinds of stuff. So when I first went in, I was just like, I understand, because my mom, she actually went through a stroke the night before my husband and I got married. So that was the kind of first thing, because I was like, you know what, these sides are real kind of close. And I was like, Linda, I didn't even know her. And I was like, Linda, these sides are really close to me. And I just told her my story, and she was like, what? So then we just chatted for 25 minutes, and she was like, well, let's go into the scene. So I did the scenes, and I found out that she's related to Zoe Perry, who is the mother on Young Sheldon, and we just had a big old chat. Didn't hear nothing from the project, didn't hear anything, but I was like, you know what? I felt like that was a very solid audition, and she knows who I am.
Yeah.
Right.
Cut to December, I get a call from my agents, and they were like, you just booked Scandal. I didn't even audition.
Direct
Wow.
off.
Yeah.
I didn't audition.
You're not mad about that.
I was not, and I
You
was
were
like,
not
oh
mad.
my God, Scandal's the final season. So they said, Linda actually wants you to call her directly. We have no information on what this character is.
Wow.
We don't know anything. We just know it's in the final season. So I called Linda, and she was like, I've been trying to find a job for you since you came in that day. And she was like, I just want to let you know that I didn't want to freak you out, but Viola will be on set. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And she was like, yeah, you're going to be working with her. And I was like, what? Wait, what's happening? And she was like, it's a crossover. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, Carrie and Viola together, I can.
And it was really beautiful. You worked as a hairdresser, so it's like really personal.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
like
I was
really
like
touching
in
some of
her
the
space.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
her
So
space.
how was that? I mean, do they have a vibe? I've passed by Kerry Washington before, another theater girl, at an Eve Ensler event before, and I
Yeah.
was like, you feel this like little like around her, and
Listen.
I'm sure Viola Davis has that.
They were the most gracious people ever. When I walked in the room, they both shook my hand, and they were like, hi, my name is Carrie. My name is Viola. And I'm like,
You're like, I know who you are.
I was like, y'all are on my vision board. And I was like, my name is Danielle.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole time I was just trying not to faint, to be honest. I mean, because we were there from 4 o'clock in the morning till about 2 p.m. And I was just trying not to embarrass myself or do too much. And I remember one time, like, I ended up cussing and improvising and cussing in the lines, because I was just like, we were just all making jokes with each other. I was like, oh yeah, y'all, I forgot this was ABC and not HBO. The whole room laughed. So I was like, I just felt free to be myself, which was great. And they're just the sweetest, most committed actors. This is why they're so legendary. I mean, the Oscar winner, you know what I mean? And Golden Globe and Emmy nominated. You know, there's so many awards in that room.
And rightfully deserved.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Kerry Washington changed the face of television, literally. Yeah. Being the first black woman on a prime time to lead as that. And she wasn't being a drug dealer or a drug addict. Right. She was a lawyer in Washington, D.C., honey, in 2012. I remember seeing that. I was like, what is this? So she has, I mean, they both have changed the face of television. So it was just one of those, I was like, I don't ever have to act again.
I was on Scandal in the very first season before anybody knew anything about it. So like I had no idea. Like I was on Scandal. I was like, I don't know, I'm on this new show, guys. I don't check it out. Hopefully it makes it to my episode. And then it was like, boom, Scandal.
Oh my gosh, it's epic.
Yeah.
It's epic.
And what's so funny is that it often it would a few years ago get slack for being like too over the top. And now I'm looking at our government and I'm like,
I know, you're like,
no, Shonda Rhimes is just she's clairvoyant,
like,
and she sees into the future. And knew that it was going to be a craziness shit show. So I love that. So then on the other end of the spectrum, we have young Sheldon.
I know.
Which is so, by the way, little Liam, is it?
Ian Armitage.
Ian, not Liam. For some reason, I saw the I in my head, the capital I, and I made an L. I'm sorry. Ian, he used to do all these Broadway reviews.
Surely did.
And that's how I know him from. He would like review shows and then be there with my friends, like talking about the show he just saw. And he's like, darling. I mean, is it just like.
He's incredible.
Working with a cupcake?
I mean, to be honest, I mean, he is a star. He is an expert at what he does. I mean, to think that, I don't know if y'all saw Big Little Lies.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like to go from Big Little Lies to this, it was just, I mean, he's going to be doing a lot for a long time. I mean, working with him is the most marvelous experience I've had.
And it's big to fill. Being like having.
Yes, The Big Bang Theory.
The Big Bang Theory.
That character.
And that character's
iconic.
so like well known in his mannerisms and all those things, and to be like, oh, I'm this little kid who has to develop these things and turn into that man.
He's experienced beyond his years, and he puts so much work into that character. I mean, I know Jim Parsons would come on set and they would work on physicality and all. I mean, it's all encompassing.
Well, he's also from also from Broadway blood too.
Oh yeah,
Jim Parsons?
No.
Ian's
dad.
Yeah, his dad is a Broadway guy.
Oh,
who's really
and on
brilliant.
Hamilton right now. I think his dad is on.
Oh, is he doing Hamilton somewhere?
Oh,
Look at that! Look at that! We'll have to look that one up. Talk to me about the clothes though, because they are nailing 1980s so hardcore, but also like, how are they getting it? Do they make stuff for you? Like, how does that work?
All those clothes are from shows that they've done in the past. So anything that Warner Brothers has had in circulation. I think one of my outfits was from Designing Women. Yes, there was, they're just nothing is made. They're all
vintage.
There, all vintage, even from the shoes to the stockings that I wear. Wow. Everything, the bra, the slips, like every single piece.
But that's just kind of crazy to me, because there weren't like fat people on TV in the 80s.
But
right.
There was like Nell Carter.
There was. Yeah, that's true.
Delta Burke.
Yeah.
Got a little heavy.
Because that's the thing. Because I was nervous and I was like, oh my God, do I need to reach out to Eloquy to see if I can get a couple pieces? but they had, I mean, it is a well-oiled production. Like, they have everything together.
So they're not like bringing you a size 10 and being like, let's just pin this on you.
They have all my sizes, and they'll even do more, because the thing is, I've gained and lost weight through this process. The pilot, I was like, collarbones out. And
then you're like, I got money in my pocket. Let's eat.
And then listen, this episode airs tonight, my cheeks are full and living. So it's like they have worked with me through the whole time. And I mean, it's been one of the most life-changing experiences I've had, that show, literally.
I love
That's amazing.
That.
I love to hear
I love
that.
that they're taking care of you, because we know from our experience it's not always
That doesn't
like
always
that.
happen. You always often have to bring your own clothes.
It's true.
Almost every time.
Yeah, almost.
That's
every,
real.
I
Almost
think every time I've worn my own clothes. I have never worn wardrobe on a set.
Wow.
I have always worn my own clothes.
Oh my gosh.
I can't claim that, but I have several times.
I've only done, I think I've done it one time. The other time was just, I mean, well, get shorty, I'm in scrubs.
Right,
So
right.
I'm like, yes.
You're like, cozy. You're like, give me my Crocs. I'm comfortable in these.
But yeah, no, This Is Us, I think I wore my whole, it was a whole torrid.
And it was your own
ensemble.
outfit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that New York is different than out here, because when I got to do Law and Order, the original.
Dun dun.
Dun, dun. Is that?
I don't know. That might be
copyright?
SVU.
Totally
I don't know.
copyright. But I'm totally getting cut off from YouTube because I just did that.
I know.
Dun, dun.
We both did it, actually.
But I brought my own stuff, but they also had stuff for me. I don't know. I feel like it's like a little. I don't know. I don't know if New York is better at it or Chicago is better at it, and LA just has like because of its, it's like a systemic cultural problem they have with bigger bodies here.
I think, I mean, to be honest, I think that absolutely is it, because when I moved here from Chicago, which is the Midwest, everything is big. It's
Right.
like barbecue. It's all kinds of
It's
stuff.
like
His
pizza.
barbecue.
Yeah, it's like pizza and all the things. And I'm
glorious.
like, yes. And I was living. And then when I came here, I was like, okay, let me have a green smoothie. Let me just try to get my life. Okay, I guess. But it's there are so many things about body image in Los Angeles, which is why I really do want to bring my show here. Body
my
Courage,
God.
because
Please
it is
do.
necessary.
Can you film it?
Yeah.
Can we get a movie?
Oh my gosh.
we produce
Come on, HBO.
She's like, let's get HBO. Forget y'all.
HBO.
No, you kidding? Y'all need to be producers.
It's like our dream. Like, it's our dream to like finally get the cachet to like
Oh my
because we
gosh.
have, first of all, there's like a connection that happens because you're so other out here, and
Yeah.
and there is like an invisibility that happens.
It's true.
That when you meet people who are not buying into that and who are living large and like taking up space and are like, this is me, the group gets real small.
It surely does.
And we need to start a posse. I want to start a think tank and a posse
Yes.
and a film company that's just for chubs. How about that?
Can you do that?
Can our production company just be called Chubbs?
Chubs? Yes. I totally
I'm
want it
here
to be.
for that. And can we put Body Courage on Netflix with Chubbs?
Yes,
Yes.
please. All right, we need to take a break soon.
Yes.
We got to talk about that. So we're gonna take like a quick break just to like wet our whistles, and we'll be right back. Plus this.
Promotional consideration brought to you by Melissa Massey. Custom clothing isn't exclusively for the rich and famous. Melissa Massey is custom-made clothing for everyday wear. A unique combination of custom tailoring and deluxe fabrics that is well made and fit for every size and frame. Made in LA, sold in LA, and online at melissamassey.com. Promotional consideration provided by Scrubs Body, a woman-owned business with scrubs so natural they're good for your public parts and your private parts. ScrubsBody.com. It's not the natural beauty products in your life, but the life in your natural beauty products. Linda Kammen's Aromatherapy Salon, lindacammons.com, for happier, healthier living.
We're back. I was swigging my tea. I was like, chug, sorry. Okay, so
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. Thank you for being with us. And Danielle is here. Please send your questions. I'm trying to load them. I'm like rolling through them. So, but sometimes it doesn't update. I mean, whatever.
Sometimes we just don't see it all until after, and then we're like,
After,
oh,
and then
there's
we're
all
like,
these comments.
"Oh."
Dang it.
And we try to forward them to you. So we'll let you know. We like to bring people into hot topics. Are you down with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Hot topics.
Hot topics. We love Lizzo.
Love.
Her concert might have changed our lives.
I mean, Literally.
She wore an outfit that Eva called, it's like she was wearing an orgasm.
It looked like it.
Wow.
Like the way the crystals were, they were like started at her cooter and it like went up and like out, like exactly how it, like it feels. Like it's just like
Oh my gosh.
I was just like, yes.
Yeah, she was like wearing an
I
orgasm.
love her.
Oh my gosh, she was amazing.
And I can't, the energy she puts in that show, I cannot, she sings her head off on top of rapping. We'll go next time. We're all going.
Oh my God, we're all going.
Yes.
But she was in Allure.
Surely was.
Yes, as one of 12 beauty disruptors, which I think that's an interesting name for what people are. I guess you're disrupting the norm of beauty.
Yes. There were some other people in there, you know, like other plus size models who were, they're not plus size models, they're curve models, so they're like in between. They're not thin enough and they're not fat enough. There was like a guy on there who had like studs tattooed, I mean, like in his face.
Yeah.
So it was like all kinds of different people, but
Yeah.
Lizzo was the voice of the disruptor.
And she wrote something amazing. We have a picture of her Instagram, which you can go find her at Lizzo Be Eating. I can't with her.
But look,
She's
Jarvis put it up. Look at
amazing.
how good it looks. Look
Gorgeous.
how beautiful she is.
She writes, fat does not equal ugly. When someone calls themselves fat, please do not respond with, no, you're not, you're pretty, as if being fat and beautiful are mutually exclusive. I'm here to shake the table to dispel the false narrative that being big is bad and or more unhealthy than being small, because it simply is not true. I am not a doctor and neither are you, so let's not act like it. Love yourself. Eat like you love yourself. Drink water like you love yourself. Dance and move like move your body like you love yourself. Next time someone calls you fat, remember you've got fat in your body just like them. Having fat is beautiful. I love that you did a show about body image. I'm just wondering about language, because, you know, it's such a big deal. Actors Equity today just stopped calling this, I guess, what a ritual that they do before every Broadway show, the gypsy robe.
Oh, the robe.
Yeah, they're not calling it gypsy anymore because
right.
people were offended. And so this is something that is like in our culture right now. And I'm just wondering, like, how do you feel about the word fat? Did you use it in your show?
Oh, yes. I mean, the thing is, when I was growing up, I grew up in a huge Jamaican family. And we're all, you know, East Coast Jamaicans, which is a very specific thing. And fat was not a derogatory term. It just was what it was. And my grandma, I mean, who I love dearly, she was a fitness fanatic. I mean, one of the parts in the show, I literally set up her basement gym. Me and her used to do Taibo together. But I have plus size women in my family. I mean, my aunts and my mom was at one point. And I mean, we're just a big family. So it was just like, oh yeah, you're fat. Yo, you're so pretty. And you're just like, this is what it was. And I think people coming in to my family probably be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But it was beautiful. It was, you're gorgeous. But the thing that I do know with my family specifically is like there's a long line also of high blood pressure and stroke and all of my mom had a stroke the night before I got married, so it was just, and my grandmother had a stroke, that's how she passed, and my father had a heart attack. So these are things for me where I'm like, yeah, I want to be living my best plus size life, but let me just do some couch to 5K to do some preventative measures. And that doesn't necessarily mean everyone has to do that. You know what I mean? I feel like body positivity specifically for me personally is, yes, being comfortable and being cute, because there were so many times when I was younger and I wasn't cute. I had to shop at Burlington Coat Factory.
Hey, you can still get some cute stuff there.
I know, but as a kid, I was in full suits.
Right.
Wow.
I looked like a black Republican when I was like 12 years old. Like,
I am so right
super
there with
professional,
you.
you know. And now it's like, my God, Eloquii, and we have Torrid, and there's so many brands. So that's
Yeah, that
one,
we can actually dress our age instead of being like, I am not an 80-year-old lady.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
also talked about that here before, about how dangerous it is when, you know, I was a size 10 when I was 10. So I was shopping in the women's department when I was 10 years old. And what a dangerous message that sends to people thinking that they can mess with you. And then all of a sudden you have this like hyper, like you're
Awareness.
aged way before your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem. And that's the good news is that I feel like it feels like they're making headway there with kids clothing and
Absolutely.
not making 14-year-old girls dress in full suits. 'Cause
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And I have the
Full
picture of it in
suits.
my
Yeah.
head. Yeah.
Full suits. I was like a grown up. I mean, my grandma would cover me in cardigans and slips, and I'd be in school, and of course I was getting made fun of, not only because I was big, but I looked out of control. I looked like a 75-year-old grandmother, you know? So that's, one aspect of body positivity that I love that's happening now with all the brands, but also all of the people that are involved with fitness, like Jessamine, and
we love her.
There's Myrna Vader, who I
Yes,
love. I mean, I
Myrna
love
Vader.
her
She's
to
the best.
death. But to know that I can now work out without having it be, oh, I have to be a size 0, because that's what it was before for me for so long. It was, oh my gosh, I have to be so small, I'm an actor, I have to be, and it became obsessive. And I was doing, and this is part of there's a character in my show where that raps, and his name is DJ Obese. And I just rap about all the diets that I've been on with my mom, and like the lemonade diet and
cabbage soup diet, all of
beet this and Weight Watchers.
Watchers.
It's just
all
too
of
much.
And it is a family affair sometimes.
It is.
Otherwise, you feel sabotaged. You're like, don't eat that pizza in front of me, Liz.
I know. Truly, though, body positivity, it's not just those things, it's that inner work, you know what I mean? It's the mind of like, yes, looking in the mirror stripped naked and being like, I am beautiful, even if you don't like that little chicho back here today. It's saying, yes, today I'm going to love you whether you want me to or not. Do you know what I mean? And loving
What did you
yourself,
call it?
that little chicho.
Chicho.
I never heard of that. Chicho.
That's a New York term, I think.
I got 2 chichos.
Yeah. Oh, I got a
Chichos
couple
on
Chiquitos
both
back
sides.
here. But yeah, just loving myself through the process of whatever, just getting fit. Because I realize it's not about me being a size 0. I just want to be able to run. I've always wanted to run. I remember in high school always being judged because I never made the mile and I was always so late. But I was like, I want to run. I could do it. I was like, Myrna Vader's out here. 300. There's another guy, 300 pounds and running, who I love to death. And
Yeah, we just had Reagan Chastain on last week.
Yes.
She is a runner too.
You-
She's going to do a triathlon. She's doing the
triathlon.
Ironman. No, she's
Oh
not
my
doing just a triathlon.
goodness.
She is doing the Ironman.
Yeah,
Wow.
and blogging about it. You should totally follow her.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys
Amazing.
could totally go running together. After our show, she was like, I gotta go do a 14-mile run.
I know. I was like,
gosh.
yeah, I gotta go to sleep.
I was like, I'm gonna go puke because you just told me about that.
Yeah,
Thinking
yeah.
about that made me wanna vomit. 'Cause I've never wanted to run. I gotta be honest. I tried running once in 6th grade because I wanted to be thinner, and that's the only reason why I did it, and it was cross country running. Which I
was like, that's like the
Cross-country is no
dumbest
joke.
thing. Like that's not
It's
that's
no
not like
joke.
where you start.
That's no
I started
joke.
running across country, and it was like crazy staircases. I'm laughing.
I know.
Oh my
because
gosh.
I know exactly what she's talking about. I'm like, yes, we had to do that in
I
soccer
was
too.
always so full out, and like just because I was like, this will be the thing. I will love this, and this will be the thing that makes me
and then
fit.
you're like, and I hate it.
yeah.
It really, honestly, all of it is mindset. And just shifting it from, oh, I want to be this thin because of what, though?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And what is that what? What is your reason? Like, is it because you're trying to find a man or a woman? Or, like that stuff is petty.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's like, what do you need actually? And I think that's the thing about body positivity and this movement that I love so much, and why I wanted to bring that awareness to theater, because we don't see that, and more so now TV and film, because that's what I'm doing now, but and so I applaud people like Chrissy Metz and Raven Goodwin, who's on Smilf, and Amber Riley and Davine Joy Randolph and Latifah Holder, and all these actors that are out here just being fierce on camera.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just love it.
Yeah, and actually having storylines that aren't necessarily a trope from week to week. And that's
Exactly.
what I love about Young Sheldon especially.
Yes.
Is that it literally is just like talking to anybody else.
Which
in
it
the
should
world.
be, because we
Which it
are
should
just
be.
like anybody else.
This
it doesn't
is
have to
it.
be like, oh, you're fat. Now I need to talk to you about your weight. Because
Right.
I mean, I don't think in general, anybody ever talks to me about my weight ever.
Yeah, so
No,
Unless it's a doctor who's a jerk.
Never, but literally, like, I just love going on set and just being the math teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
And to be like a plus size woman doing math, and she's doing like Euclidean geometry,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I was horrible at math for real in college. So I'm like living. I love it. I'm like, come on, Chuck Lord, thank you, Steve Malaro, for the opportunity to just like be me and be quirky and funny and weird. I love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
awesome.
I love it so much. I'm sorry, I'm looking at other things. Yes, they're all saying this is amazing. Live your life. Yes. Also, another big event that happened this weekend was Variety had their Power of Women luncheon.
Yeah.
And Tarana, that's how you pronounce it, right? Tarana Burke?
Tarana.
Why do I never trust myself with pronunciations? Because I'm from Philly and everything's pronounced
Oh,
wrong there.
you know I went to Temple.
I did see that in your bio.
Oh my, come on, Philly. I love it.
I did see it. Yes. So I want to say Tarana Burke. That's where my mind goes, and we pronounce everything wrong. I have like a hypersensitivity to pronunciations. But
do.
she is. If you don't know, guys, she created the Me Too movement. It's Me Too. mvnt.org if you want to, and at that on Instagram if you want to follow. We posted something of hers today if you want to go just check it out our Instagram. But it was amazing because Viola Davis gave the speech, and then she gave a speech. Viola Davis, I mean, frankly, she could read this cup that I got from Starbucks saying, and I'll be moved. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, she's just such a powerful
in
speaker.
her body when she gets, you know, when she really believes, which is every time she talks, like she,
Yeah.
and when she was walking through all the things that survivors of assault go through, and like all, you know, not just PTSD, eating disorders, she had a big dramatic pause before she said that, and I believe that probably reflected. It felt like she was reflecting on something maybe that had happened to her. I don't want to project that onto her, but
Right.
it seemed more personal.
But she brought up a lot of things like depression and suicide and
Yeah.
all these things that can happen to you when you're sexually assaulted.
Yeah, and so to think of Tarana as someone who has been through that, walked through that, talks about, let's not call ourselves victims, let's call ourselves survivors because we did. Like, you're breathing air. You did survive it, and it was terrible, and you still survived. But I want to talk about someone who also looks like her, because when skinny white actresses talk about it in the Harvey Weinstein thing, it is different. And then when those same women and others in Hollywood are propping up someone who looks like Tarana, she might not even be plus size. She just might be like big tittied, and I'm still claiming her,
Right.
because as a plus size woman, because just her on the red carpet being so fabulous. Like, I just wanted your thoughts on that. Like, I feel like it's so special that she is black and a woman and fashionable as fuck. I mean, she has her own fashion Instagram. Yes, she slays.
She's so fierce.
Yes, she
I know.
slays, which I didn't even know until today, because a video that Variety made started it with her saying, well, you know, I have a fashion Instagram called Yes, She Slays. I love fashion. I was like, I did not know that, Sarah. I will go right now. And so, I mean, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. I mean, because I feel like a missing link.
Right.
That is happening. And I would love to hear your thoughts about that.
I think the thing, especially with the industry, and I'll just kind of leave the industry as TV, film, theater, comedy. I feel like a lot of times women of color specifically are constantly left out of the conversation. And that is black women, women in the Latinx community, South Asian women, trans women, women in the LGBTQ community. It's usually, I mean, when you look at the Women's March, which was this amazing movement, I remember I went to the first one, and this young lady, she was on the stage talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, and it was like, woo! You know what I mean? It was like two little cheers. But what it means the world for me to see Tarana and also actresses like Viola Davis that I look up to, and you know, Octavia Spencer has also been very outspoken about the movement as well too, to know that I'm seen. Do you know what I mean? To know that the people that I've interviewed for my show are seen, to know that women in my family are being seen, that have gone through sexual assault and sexual, abuse. And the thing is, this has plagued the industry for years. It's not, and it's plagued theater specifically. I mean, there was an article that just came. There was actually an incident that happened in Chicago a few years at a theater company called Profiles Theater, and it was horrific to hear all of the things that were happening under that. And that's a show, that's a theater that I'd actually been in shows in, to know that some of the people that were speaking out were my friends, and I had no idea. And this thing of, okay, well, maybe it's horrifying. It's horrifying, and I'm very happy that people are now speaking out, and it's this most powerful movement that I've seen in a while, and things are starting to change. It's going to take a while, because once everybody's included, as I said, but things are starting to rumble.
Yeah, it was really shocking. Viola Davis talked about how 67% of women of color who are assaulted by the age of 18 will be assaulted again. Mm-hmm. And 77% of sex trafficked women are women of color. Mm-hmm. And that's just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like, those are staggering numbers.
Yeah.
Like, and it just made me think, like, what can we do about that? Like, how do we teach men that that's not the way? Because it's really what it comes down to, is really teaching men, like, you don't have to pay for sex. Like, what? That's not okay. It's not acceptable. And how do we go about doing that? I mean, obviously we have to start with teaching our own children.
Listen,
but like,
there are African countries who have initiatives. I want to say it's Rwanda that after the horrible things that happened there, and part of their healing process was, we're going in and teaching our boys, this is how you respect women, and they're also teaching women to say no.
Right.
And it sounds radical, but is it? Because look at these numbers. They're terrible.
We have to. I mean, and Los Angeles is one of the biggest sex trafficking hubs in the world, which is like, what? Like, we live here. I don't see it. How am I not seeing this? Yeah. But it is. It's one of the #1 sex trafficking locations in the world. Yeah. And who are, that means that we know people who are using that service.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That there are people around us. Yeah.
There's a need, and it's
so what like, how do we find that? I don't know. It's just heartbreaking.
I will say that I think the work the Me Too movement is doing is really talking about these gaps that we're talking about, these places where we don't know. So that is definitely a great place to start. I just think that the more layered we get, even the jump from the Women's March to the March for Our Lives, wildly different, wildly more inclusive. Even though they were younger, there was something that they got mentored to do, or they knew instinctively to do, that was more of what I think a lot of people that the Women's March kind of made us feel or weird, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that they're filling the gap, and that's what Tarana Burke's speech was about. Like, how do we fill these gaps? And
I loved what she talked about.
Questions,
right?
Exactly.
But what I love that she talked about was changing the way that people are viewing the Me Too movement, because I think so many people do think, like, oh, you're just trying to be a victim. Oh, you're just saying Me Too. But she was like, no, this is about acknowledging that there's a systemic problem, and we need to make this change, and we need to be heard, and there needs to be change, like, basically bottom line. And I love that she addressed that, because I think that a lot of right-wing people think that people are victims who say Me Too, and that they're not, like, they have a argument against being a feminist, and being, like, in my opinion, being a feminist means that you believe that women have equal rights to men. I don't think it means that we're better than men, and I don't think it means, that's in my personal opinion. I don't know what other people think. I think there's probably other feminists who would be like, no, we are better. But in my opinion, I don't think that that's what it means. I think that you can be a feminist and think that you deserve equal rights.
And what does real equality look
Absolutely.
like?
Right.
And that means that the power structure has to be shifting. And that means that, again, this can't just be women altering how they look, how they dress, how they talk, how they present themselves to the world in order to be safer. Like, that's not the way in. The way in is through the men who don't believe that we are equal.
Right.
And don't believe that women who look like us even have a shot. I mean, that's the whole thing about this town, I think. That really bugs me, is that they don't even, like, I have had guys look through me.
Oh,
that
oh,
have
yeah.
been- that I
Oh,
have-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah,
Literally,
easily.
I've been, a girlfriend of mine has been with a guy, and he's been introduced to me and literally looked through me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he had, what use are you to me? You're not something that I can possess or treat like an object, or
Right.
or use to build myself up in some kind of way.
Absolutely.
And I think that this is forcing men to have real hard conversations about
Absolutely,
about what their perspective is, and women too. Like, let's just bring it back to the body thing. You know, talking about those things of like, okay, objectively, why did I think for so long that fat was ugly? And I look at paintings and I
Yes.
go, oh, it's so beautiful. And I see a big woman in a painting and I'm like, that's so beautiful, but that's literally me. Like,
Yeah.
it's literally me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why all of a sudden, because we've gone in time, we
Yeah.
flash forward, is that so really trying to take your mind and take it out of all of the things you're barraged with, like
Right.
the barrage
Absolutely.
of
Right.
thinness.
And that word fat, I mean, as we were talking earlier about kind of Lizzo, for me personally, it didn't get derogatory until I went to school. Do you know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
And then it was like, oh, you're fat. And I remember this guy, he used to literally call my face pancake. And so and I'm writing actually a script about it, about like the whole experience in high school and growing up and all that stuff. But like, it didn't get derogatory until somebody made it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I do feel like there needs to be an education, and it's now starting to happen. Issa Rae said something really interesting in regards to obsessed.
Yeah.
In regards to racism, and a lot of people were really pissed about it. Where she was like, all the old racists have to die in order for us to get new life, and that's real. I mean, I really did agree with her, because there are still people out here that were in that civil rights movement with Martin Luther King Jr. and that were opposing that. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of those people are in power right now.
Right, yeah.
So with all kinds of institutionalized things, because there's more than one thing, it's going to take time, and it's going to take education. I think
It does take education, because I think that, like, yes, those old people need to die, but they are also training their children and their children's children
Absolutely.
their old ways, and so
It's bucking that system.
Yeah,
It's
It
bucking that
is.
system. And it does have to be, I think, at a ground government level. Like, I think our
Absolutely.
government does have to take some responsibility on how it handles just obesity.
absolutely.
Word obesity. None of it's true. We could go on and
Oh my
on
gosh!
for this
But
forever.
we can you believe that the time
I
has come
cannot
that
believe
this is the end of the
we have
show?
to get
It was
you
way
to your
too
fancy
fun.
scandal events.
I know, but you have to tell everyone how they can find you. We didn't even get to talk to you about your amazing Instagram
my
show.
gosh,
That's
your
so
Instagram
fun.
show.
Oh my gosh, we were dying laughing. You guys, okay, tell us
Oh
briefly,
my
very
God.
quickly, where they can find you
Absolutely.
and all that.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Body Courage, or at #booked on Instagram. And it's an Instagram series I've created with my dear friend Lanisa Frederick, where we're just making fun of the industry. It's all
hilarious.
improv.
Guys,
It's
it's
so
so
funny.
funny. They read.
Oh my gosh, they read
breakdowns out
things that you're just
loud, and
like,
we're
this
just-
is ridiculous. And when you read it out loud, it's extra
And just
ridiculous.
to let you know, it's hashtag spelt out. It's not the pound sign. It's hashtag the
the
word.
pound sign.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm old.
Oh my gosh, this was fun. Will
Thank
you
y'all
please
so
come
much
back?
for Absolutely.
Yay!
Let's hang out.
Yes, and we'll
let's
go to
do
the Plus
things.
Bus with you.
We got to go to the
We're
Plus
going to
Bus.
the Plus
We
Bus.
got to go to the
Yeah,
Plus
we're
Bus.
going. We're
Oh,
going.
that's
It's happening.
the date. We're
Yes.
making a date right after this.
Yes.
Guys, you can always follow us everywhere at Plus This Show. And next week,
We're gonna have Jocelyn Ayana on our show.
Another gorgeous
She
actress.
is my very good friend, and she's going to be so much fun. You guys just wait.
Yes. So we'll see you next week.
Wait, like, subscribe, and share.
Please. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 6 o'clock plus this. Plus this.